This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is a Place podcast. My name is Brandon.
My name is Nate.
And we want to wish everyone a happy National Underground America Day.
Is that like the Secret Tunnels in Vegas Day?
Yeah. So it revolves around cherishing the concept of societies living underground and thriving. Yes, we don't always only have to live on top of land. There's a lot more going on underground than you can imagine. Here is all you need to know about celebrating National Underground America Day. And I'm not going to read everything, but yeah, that's the concept. The idea that you can live underground. Has that ever been a lifelong dream of yours?
I think it would be fun to experience, like, for a few days.
Yeah.
Be like a Ninja Turtle. Did you ever watch the Ninja? Well, I'm sure you watched Ninja Turtles, but like the movies at least made
I've
you think, oh, dude, that'd
seen
be so cool.
one of them.
Even though it's the sewers, but it's like, this looks like this big house underground.
Yeah. I always think it'd be cool to build an underground bunker, you know?
That too would be interesting.
I mean, who knows if there's going to be some nuclear disaster or something that is going to require people to live underground. We watch those Fallout movies, right? Or the Fallout show. And those people lived underground. Looked kind of fun. Did you ever see the movie Blast from the Past?
I've seen clips from it, but I've never seen it.
Okay. That one, it would have been terrible, but I loved watching that movie and thinking about living underground for all that time, growing up underground and then coming out. That would be crazy.
Doesn't he go to like the baseball card shop and say, I just need like $100 or something for like a Mickey Mantle baseball card or something like that?
Maybe I can't remember that
Anyways,
part. At the end of the movie, he finds they've got a bunch of stocks in companies that blew up, like Apple, IBM, like these big time companies that were nothing in the 50s or whenever it was he was born. So, yeah. But living underground, that would be. There's also this thing. I recently saw a concept of them building a city that was like a funnel. So it's a funnel down into the ground and didn't have a covering. It would just be like you're living in a tunnel. And then everybody said the same thing. What happens when there's a flood? Like everybody's gone. There's no way out of it. Or yeah, I don't know. That one was just kind of a crazy concept, but living under the ground in theory is a fun idea, but something we'll probably never accomplish.
like I said, that would be a fun like vacation idea.
That would be a fun Airbnb for
Yes.
a week or something like that.
Where you couldn't leave the bunker for a week. They like lock the door on you and you have to
I wonder if
stay
there's a
down there.
way. So there tunnels underneath Salt Lake? Like where do we know there's tunnels?
I know there's tunnels obviously underneath the Temple Square. I've
Right.
been down
I've been
there.
down there as well.
I've heard, I feel like I have some friends who lived over in the kind of probably West Valley area, like just north of Taylorsville.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear they talked about there was some tunnels that they could go down. Those might even be just the sewers or something like that. And they could go all the way to the mall or something like that. I can't
Oh.
remember. It's just in the back of my mind, memory.
We've talked about on here the tunnels around Kearns that they used in
Is
the
that what I'm talking about? Is
maybe,
that
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing?
I'm just remembering back when we talked about kind of the military presence in Kearns when there was a base and how they had tunnels at least under Kearns Junior High, right? something like that. I'm sure there's tunnels somewhere, but let's get to the bottom of it. We need to find a way to get under some of these tunnels, and
Yeah, we need a tour. We need a tour of these tunnels outside of the Salt Lake ones. We don't really Temple Squares
it's pretty
are
cool.
cool, but
Yeah, figure out
we
if
want like
you
some ghetto tunnels. We want to we want
some
to see
ghetto
the Ninja
tunnels.
Turtles. We want to see Raphael Michelangelo as in their midlife era.
Yes. If you have access to tunnels or know someone that does, please write us or message us or get a hold of us. Let us know because we'll go down the tunnels for you. We'll go explore. What I want to talk about today is sort of along the same lines as living underground, but more specifically, building something that is sort of underground. We've talked about this before, Nate, and this is a surprise. I didn't tell you what we were talking about today. So you haven't done any research, you don't know.
What I've done research anyways, Brandon. Let's be honest.
Let's just be real here. I'm going to share my screen, and I don't know why we don't utilize this more. Google Earth is awesome. We could use Google Earth and just pretend we go to all these places. But we're going to talk about this place. Can you see my screen, Nate?
Yeah.
Does this place ring any bells to you?
Didn't we not talk about it, but talk about wanting to talk about it a couple years ago?
Yes, you're correct. Here's
Did we
why
walk by it?
we
Because
walked
across the
by it.
street
Do you
from
remember? Yep. You know where it's
the
at.
Coachman, right?
Yeah, when we went and decided they announced closure of Coachman's, we tried to go and visit it, but it was extremely packed. So we didn't get actually to go inside. Well, we did go inside, but we didn't get to go and eat. But we decided to walk across the street and check out Christian School, which is or was this cool little art installation off of State Street, 1328 South State Street to be exact. And this is my favorite place that I will say we never got to check out because I'm pretty sure it is gone and it's scheduled to. And this, I don't know when this Google Earth picture was taken, but it's been demolished or scheduled to be demolished and make way for apartments, our favorite thing.
Yeah.
The way all good things go away.
Let's talk about that for a minute. What's going on? Why are they not building any apartments right now?
Yeah. Where are we supposed to live?
Where's just dude, I've driven down the I-80, like the east side of the I-80, and the whole I-80 is going to be apartments. There's apartments everywhere. But good
I
to
get
know they're
it.
building even more
People
apartments.
people need places to live. I get it.
There's just
Right?
so many right now.
There's so many. And so many good things that we lose and you already know what it's going to become. I mean, the Fun Dome went away a long time ago, but they demolished that, leveled it from what it was, and now it's going to be apartments. The same over Kmart in right there
In West Valley, I guess you call it. Actually,
there's two.
yeah.
The one in West Valley, that one became
Oh
apartments
yes,
pretty
yeah. That
quickly.
already has apartments there.
Yeah. But there's the one closer to us off
Bangerter.
Bangerter, which is going to become apartments.
Well, I think that's going to be like condos. I think you can buy stuff there, but I would keep wondering. They tore down the buildings really quickly, and it's just been
Sitting there.
sitting forever. Same thing with
Both that and Fun Dome.
and the Fun Dome, and they tore down. Edge
Wagon
Homes tore
Master.
down the movie theater,
Yeah.
the drive-in really
Redwood
quickly.
Drive-In.
So I'm curious to know. I'm guessing townhomes is what they're going to put in there. But this one, I'm surprised to bring us back to our topic, the Coachman across the street thing. I think that deal kind of fell apart, didn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's what I've heard.
Have you
so
been
that's
in
why
that
it's
area
still,
recently?
I don't think I think it still looks like the picture that nobody can see, but maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, I haven't been this way for a second, so probably should drive by, do some recon. But the last I saw once there were lights on there, almost like there was people inside, which I was kind of surprised by.
In the Coachman?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
that was
Well,
probably 2 years ago.
because we know that's where they did their transactions, so they're probably still
They're milking it for what they still can.
they're still doing their transactions.
Yeah. But Christian school, again, I don't know. Someone might be able to chime in. Haven't been this way. I don't know if all these stone structures, which are on the outside, there's a big rock that has some inscriptions on it, and then just the facade of the whole place. And yeah, I used to see this as a kid and just think, what is going on there? There's something crazy happening in there. And I was right. Not it probably isn't what I expected, but still pretty crazy what's going on. And I wish I knew more about this too. This what is that? Speed Racer? There's like a Speed Racer
It actually
drawing.
looks like no. Look, oh yeah. You got Astro Boy, Speed Racer, and then I don't know what that cat
That
is.
cat thing. Yeah. So that's on the side of the building, and I'm pretty sure it's a part of, I don't know. It's probably a part of the building, the Christian school building. But let's do some history. The guy who was in charge of this, it's kind of an interesting story. So his name is Raphael. So hey, that's a Ninja Turtle name right there. So
Right
we,
there
we
we
got
go.
the Ninja Turtle connection. Raphael Pleskia, I believe, who passed away in 2022. 2022, he passed away. And that's when they kind of said, yeah, it's going to be demolished because he never actually owned this property.
Really?
His father owned the property. It was a repair shop, like an auto repair shop, and his father donated it to Shriners Hospital. But in his the way he set things up, his son would be able to basically rent it, hold on to it until he died. So it's not until Raphael died that it would then go to the hospital, which it sounds like the hospital didn't want or didn't have anything to do with it. So they're like, let's sell it and you can build apartments there. Interesting thing about this, he's kind of tied to a place we are very fond of, Gilgal Gardens. As a young boy, he would play at the Gilgal Gardens and watch Thomas Child build the structures that depicted his faith. So he got inspiration from Gilgal because he spent so much time there. And this Raphael guy did grow up as a member of the LDS church, but then kind of became more, what would you call it? Episcopalian? Is that a thing?
But don't. Yeah, sounds right. Yeah.
He did that, and it's kind of reflected in what this building was. So, did you have any theories about what Christian school was before we started talking about it?
It seriously looks like some weird horror movie location. Like it's I don't know how to explain it. Like it just
It's like kind of gothic
or
looking.
almost it almost looks like an amusement park. Like it just doesn't it's just weird. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. You're gonna have to look up pictures. Maybe I'll go back to posting on Instagram one day, and this can make its mark there as well. But it really is just something else. There's a couple of statues out in front of it. There's that. Can you see that rock?
Oh, 13th?
Yeah, 13th River Rock. And there's like this statue lady, a couple of crosses. There's this inscription on the side as well. So yeah, it really
Or a
sticks out.
movie set. I think that's what I think it looks like. It looks like a movie set.
It does.
Like
It's
they're
like
using it for some type of I think you could only say like a horror movie, right?
a little bit, yeah. Just kind of evoke the horror movie vibes.
It almost has
That's
haunted house vibes.
it
We
would
could
be
open up our first haunted
such
house there. Like
yeah.
save the Christian school.
Isn't that our idea for everything? Let's see what we do with this. Make it a haunted house. That's always the answer because we love haunted houses. But yeah, you've got like a Star of David looking thing on the top of it, and then out there's a woman coming outside of the this building's facade as well. Looks like she's naked. Yeah, all sorts of weird things. So it's quite a thing and to look at. If I would I would advise somebody that if it's not to go by and take a look at it just because it's so unique. Nothing like you'll ever see on State Street again, probably. But on the inside, what he decided to devote his life to was making this an immersive art installation, all based off of a scripture in Revelations, I believe, Revelations 12. And it talks about Jesus and his mother and the serpent or the devil. I won't go into it all, but it's just it all inspired what he decided to create with this art installation. Someone on Reddit, good old Reddit, I love Reddit. They commented, and I just wanted to read their comment. It said, I visited this place a few years ago before the owner died. He was a sculptor who made the original lions on the steps of the Capitol building. He gave me a guided tour of the inside of the place. Essentially, he had a vision one day that told him there was this whole story missing out of the Bible and Book of Mormon, and he was commanded to tell it through art. The story starts with how Jesus' spirit was conceived and born into the premortal world, how Heavenly Mother, heavy with the spirit of Jesus, was being hunted by the devil and ultimately hid in the mouth of a lion. All of this story was told through sculptures with the building. There was even a painting of himself on the ceiling, kind of Sistine Chapel style as an angel. He even carved out a cave under the place and made a hell of sorts down there, complete with a giant serpent and a literal small underground lake cast in red light so it looked like lava. All this sounds cool, but it was really bizarre, is what they said. So that's why I say it was kind of an underground living because he dug down so deep in this building that it had groundwater that would come up from underneath. There's actually a documentary. I watched the documentary. It's only 15 minutes long, and that gives you a good idea of what this was and why he did what he did. Let's find the picture of the little lake. I guess you can kind of see it here. So there's like this water and there's people coming out of it and this lion. So it goes pretty deep. And that person in the Reddit post kind of made it sound like it was a hell where people were coming out of the lava or the fire or whatever. Um, but just really interesting concepts. So he built there's that lion, which from his prophecy or whatever, it has a sculpture in a sculpture. So can you kind of see the lion's mouth?
Yeah, and that's supposed to be Heavenly Mother.
I guess something like that. Heavenly Mother with Jesus hiding from the serpent
Devil.
or whatever. You can kind of see that here too. That's what the serpent dragon looking thing is on the side. But just a really unique guy. They said that if you would knock on the door, and I wonder if we would have done this that day, if we would have just went and knocked on the door, if we would have been able to go in. I guess it depends. When did we do that Coachman's episode?
It was like
Maybe he already passed away.
You said 2022.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, because I believe I worked in that area. Was it in like 2020 when we went?
I
That
don't
when they
know.
got rid of it?
Let's see when that picture was taken.
Coachman's episode
20
was in
yeah, April
2021.
we took it April 20th, 2021 is when we took the picture.
Yeah, so we still could have probably went there. He hadn't passed away yet. So maybe we had knocked on the door and we could have taken a tour of the place. And I'm really sad we didn't get a chance.
Missed opportunity.
There's some good pictures.
But
So
I would actually probably pay a few bucks to go look at that now.
oh yeah.
That looks.
Yeah, and the tough thing about it, so in the documentary he said, I don't know what's gonna happen with all this stuff when I die. He knew that it was gonna go to Shriners, and he's like, they're probably just gonna demolish it. He was right. But the way that he built it, it's pretty hard to save some of this stuff because like how are you gonna save a well that he dug into the underground, like with all those statues? Here's the mural that shows his where did it go? Kind of shows him as like a angel or whatever. But stuff like that's hard to save. Like if you're gonna get rid of the building, you can't save a lot of the stuff, which is kind of sad. They said that a lot of it had been moved to his house, which was on California Avenue. But I'm sure there's aspects of this which if they haven't been moved, they're probably just going to be demolished along with the rest of the building, which is sad because it's just so unique. Yeah, there's the scantily clad mother woman lady and the dragon. Yeah, he had a lot of boobs in this place. A lot of naked women. So right there looks like they took out the dragon and put it somewhere else. So it must have been some parts of it must have been moved already. Maybe that's the building now with everything taken out of it. On the side, it said Raphael's Christian school dedicated to teach about the Heavenly Mother and God Creator and Jesus, which you can definitely tell just looking at a couple pictures that he very much focused on the motherly aspect of the story, I guess. The Heavenly Mother part doesn't get told a whole lot, but he really focused on that. Was it this one? I think he said one of them's like a pregnant lady. That might be this one. Of course, everybody's loving hearing this, me just talking about these pictures the two of us are just looking at.
We can't see them.
Do a quick Google search and you will find all the pictures you want of this place. It is something to behold. Also, I don't know if this was in the building or if this was. Yeah, I said it was a fireplace. It's just like this lady with her mouth open. How would you like to have that fireplace in your house?
So she literally breathes fire. I'm a little bit sad now that we never went inside. Could you imagine? I've told you the story how I had my friends from Texas, my old company, come out, and then I took them on a tour of all the weird stuff to Utah.
That's
Could
right.
you imagine if I took them to this place as well?
Let's
Like,
go to
I
Gilgal
think this would
Gardens.
top Gilgal Gardens for sure. But
Gilgal's weird, right? It's definitely strange, but this one was like he completely took over a building and built the sculptures into a building, like, and it's weird stuff. I mean, Gilgal's got a Sphinx of Joseph Smith, but this one's like naked ladies everywhere.
this is seriously like it's like a movie set, like a weird, trippy, low budget horror movie set is what it looks like.
And I think the location is what makes it so crazy. Like this one picture I'm sharing from the Tribune shows a man walking by without a shirt. Like this part of Salt Lake it's a strange part of Salt Lake.
There's a lot of what's the politically correct term now?
Unhoused.
Unhoused people in that area.
Which may be
and
why
overall the area just has different people in that area.
Yeah. Just maybe why people would see this and think that's a place where other people can go get drugs. That's what it looks like. Like this guy in the picture. But yeah, just being like on State Street of all places. At least Gilgal is kind of this hidden little park area.
And it's well maintained, even
That's
though
true.
there will be homeless people. I mean, unhoused people that like to take naps in there.
Yeah,
But this
that's
one
a good
looks
nap spot.
like this one looks like you're just walking into a horror movie and you might be the main character who gets whacked. So or disappears mysteriously.
Right.
And then you get sucked into some realm. You have to find your way out.
It looks like a fever dream, is what it looks like.
Or if you were to buy this building, you wouldn't have to do a whole lot to turn it into a haunted house. It's already there.
The only thing is the space. I don't think it's like a huge space.
It'd be very
A
into it
quick,
could be an escape room. It could be a haunted house
ooh,
escape
there you
room.
go. That definitely would translate.
And then you could
Maples,
have like you could hook up like a gas fireplace for the lady and like spit out fire
make her talk.
and then part of the escape room you have to jump into the little pond to get a key out or a clue.
Yeah, I like it. I think you need to pull some strings and figure out how to buy this
Ooh.
so it does not become
What's
apartments.
let's not save the clock tower. Let's save the Christian school.
Let's save the Christian school. Save the Christian school. Save the Christian school. I love it. In the documentary, some preservationist guy was talking about how it basically the fate of it was already settled. Like there was nothing that anybody was going to be able to do to not have this place be demolished. He said if there was more, he compared it to Gilgal. He said if more people had the affection for this place like they did for Gilgal, then there would be attempts and ways for them to save it. But he just didn't think there was enough of a, I guess, community. Which is, I mean, it's on State Street. How did it go missed by so many people? Looked at it and are like, that's a weird building.
We missed it, and this is what we do for a hobby. I shouldn't say living.
This is what we do. You're not making money.
I'm just a part-time job.
Yeah, no, I mean, I knew about it back then. I didn't know how we could get in. That was maybe my ignorance. I didn't know how maybe easy it was to get in back in those days. If I would have known, yeah, we definitely, and how short of a time we had to capitalize on it as well. Because
I'm crossing my fingers that there's one person who just happens to stumble across our podcast and sees this episode and goes, "Hey, I can get you in."
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it kind of looks like a lot of stuff has been taken out of it already. Maybe move somewhere else. But if there's a way for us to get there, I'm not gonna. Let's see, like this painting he had. I'm not going to say no to that. I mean, there's another fireplace with these weird looking angel creature things on it. We for sure missed our chance because there was kind of a public opening they had. Like you'd still have to schedule time to go in, but shortly after he died and they said, yeah, it's basically going away. They set up a website so that people could go in and schedule tours and things like that. So we did miss our chance, at least at that. But I don't know. Holding out hope there's some way we can still, even if a lot of the stuff isn't in there, get inside and just see some of it would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So a website I really like called Atlas Obscura. I'm sure you've stumbled across. I'm sure you've stumbled across this website before, right?
Right.
It lists Christian school as one of 8 sacred spaces in Utah. And I think we need to make sure we hit all of these places, actually.
Yes. The pyramid one in the bottom right there.
I've been thinking about this pyramid a lot.
I forget about that because it's kind of hidden downtown.
Yeah. So here's what we need to do. They hold services every Wednesday night. We need to just go on the website and schedule a Wednesday night that we can go and visit this place before it becomes apartment buildings.
Before apartments come in again. Dang you apartments.
So we've been to two of the places on this list, Iosepa and Gilgal. I don't know anything about Dream Mine. We're here talking about Christian School, Home of Truth out in Monticello. That might be a little bit of a hike for us to get to, as well as Church Rock, the pyramid, the Summum Pyramid, and then I'm really resistant, but maybe we need to go to the Festival of Colors, go to the Krishna temple out there one day in Spanish Fork. Looks like a mess.
We also need to go visit the cultural center or facility out in West Valley.
Yeah.
That's kind of hidden that a lot of people don't know about.
So Nate, you and I, we need to go and visit some of these places on this list. Other places we've been talking about for probably since we've been doing the podcast. I mean, I told you I updated our Google Doc, and there's some things that have been on here for a very long time that we have yet to visit.
Mm-hmm. We haven't been to Donut Falls.
We've never done we've only done like one hike on the podcast, haven't we? We've only done Secret Lake. Never done Donut Falls, never done Ensign Peak. We've never been to Pirate O's.
And we never done Suicide Rock. I've always wanted to.
That's on my list actually because I've never been to it.
I've always wanted to.
Look, I got it
I've
right
always
here.
wanted to hike Mount Olympus.
Timpanogos
too, but that one I feel like you have to be
in shape.
Not in shape, but ready for it.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know, just kind of doing this episode in this kind of off beaten path place. We just really don't know how long, not to get like we're gonna die soon, Nate. No, more like we don't know when the next place is gonna go away and an apartment is gonna replace it. That's kind of more my thinking. Some of these places obviously aren't going to be, but we need to go out and visit these places before they're gone because there's only so much space in Salt Lake County, and they're going to need to find ways to get rid of them and put something else in its place. So that's more my thinking. Let's go out and visit more places so we can talk to you guys about them. Shoot the Tube. We've never done Shoot the Tube. So many places we have yet to visit that really need our expertise, Nate, and the people need to hear about them. Because I think one of the most fun things is we've introduced people to new places, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, we've introduced ourselves to new
and
places.
Ourselves. Yeah, we'll be even more selfish. We have fun finding these new and weird places. The Peace Gardens, Gilgal, whatever it may be,
Yeah, I think I even told you I had an owner who bought a duplex across the street from the Peace Gardens, and he even had no idea what was across the street. I'm like, dude, you got to go check this place out.
Yeah.
There's so many cool places to visit in Utah. And the cool thing is it kind of fits in with our budget because a lot of stuff is free.
We are big fans of the free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you even said this place, Christian School, you would even pay money to go check it out. That shows you how cool some of these things are. Some of them we would pay, but we don't have to because it's just there. We don't have to pay for the hikes for the most part. And just some of all these other niche places that we have in our own backyard. So I'm committing right now. We're going to go find some more weird stuff before they're gone, like Christian School.
That's right.
And let us know if you had a chance to visit it before it was not a thing anymore.
Or you can get us in.
Or if you can get us in. Just tell us the time, the date. We already know the place.
Who works for the city that can have us pretend building inspectors?
There's a lot of things
or something.
We need to be on the good graces of the cities so they can get us in some of these places. Another cool one, Wasatch Plunge. We got to get to that place somehow. It's got to be a way to get in there.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. Send us your connections. One last thing I want to say before we end. If you want an advanced listening to an upcoming episode, I was just gonna wait until June, but I actually hit publish on a YouTube video we have out right now. It was a conversation with it was an episode we did a couple weeks ago about the Salt Lake Trappers, something I wasn't very familiar with, and Nate taught us about. And because of that episode, we had someone reach out and said, "Hey, I've got some people you need to talk to." And we ended up getting on a podcast with some people who were
Dave Baggett, right?
Dave Baggett and Steve Pearson, I think was his name, and then a couple other, the connection I had, and just some people that were involved with the team, the Trappers, and people who are still involved in the baseball community pretty heavily. And so if you want to watch that, it's a YouTube video that we have on our page. The episode will come out in June, the day that the streak began, the 29 game streak. But if you want the advanced listening, you can go do that right now. But that was a fun episode, and thanks to my uncle Scott for helping set that up. Scott and his brother Ryan, who helped put that all together. It was a fun one. Except for you guys.
Yeah, and we don't talk very much, so maybe people will like that.
Maybe it's a good break from our voices. You get to hear someone different for a change. But anyway, thanks for listening. Fun stuff coming up. Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a place we just talked about.